He's 62 years old, has a nest egg of 450,000. His expected expenses 4,200 a month, and he can get Social Security at age 67 for 2,450 a month. The question is, can he retire now? How do his numbers work? Folks, what we do on this channel, we set up spreadsheets to answer these kind of questions. We take into account sequence of returns risk. You've got to plan on that because nobody knows the future. We also look at the importance of your asset allocation. What kind of asset allocation do you need? We look at the relevance of the 4% rule. Do you need to stay close to that to have your money last? And we especially look at how Social Security can impact your financial planning. So that's what I'm going to do. Look at this individual's numbers. Again, this is one of the spreadsheets we use. Got 450,000 for his beginning balance. He figures he needs 4,200 a month. 200 a month. And we're doing a 60-40 asset allocation. So we've got those different scenarios taken into account. His Social Security is going to get 2,450 at age 67, but he's 62 now, so he's going to get, there's 2,450 at age 67. He's going to get 70% of that, so he's going to get 1,715. At least we're going to run the numbers for that initially. So of this 4,200 that he needs, he's going to get 1,715 coming from Social Security, so he's going to need 2,485 coming from his nest egg. Folks, that's a 6.63% withdrawal rate, quite a bit above the 4% rule. So what we do on this channel is we use the numbers for the last 100 years, the returns for the last 100 years for the S&P 500, just to see where we might be in the future. We just project ahead what similar returns might do. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and update this for every single year to see with a 60-40 asset allocation and a 6.63% withdrawal rate, how it would have worked out. And again, we're going to look at the numbers from 1925 on. Right now in this column, we see the 1925 returns going through there, but this is going to calculate for every single year. This is what you'd have after 10 years, after 20 years, and after 30 years. You can see the 1925 numbers. This is a summary box right here. There's the 10-year right now. 293,875 is right there, and that went right there. It put all these numbers in there all the way through there. And folks, in this scenario, what he has, he's going to have a 17% chance of his money running out. Looking at a different way, 82.7% of the time he's going to have a success rate. This is after 20 years. The first 10 years, no problem. After 20 years, this is what the graph actually looks like. You can have a problem if we had returns like the Depression years, and also if we had returns like the year 2000. Again, what happened? This was a bad decade. This was a bad decade. So you can see it kind of makes sense. Those are going to be the problem areas with the numbers that he's given me. Now, what could we do differently? Watch what happens if we do one simple thing. Remember, we looked at the importance of your, right here, importance of your asset allocation. Watch what happens if I just change it to a 70-30 split. 70% say in the S&P 500, so you can gain from these really good returns, because most of the time, in fact, 75% of the time, the returns are up in the stock market. 25 or 26% of the time, they're negative. Watch what happens if I just leave a little bit more in the stock market, put a little bit less in the cash reserve. You want some in the cash reserve so when the market's going down, the money's coming out of there, because you don't want to be selling in a down market. So let's go ahead and update this. Right now, we got a 17% failure rate or an 82.7% success rate with these numbers. If we just change from a 60-40 to a 70-30, watch what happens, all else being equal. We're going to go from a 17% failure rate down to, as it's recalculating, 12%. We improved our percentages by 5%. Now we have an 87% success rate and only a 12.3% failure rate. Just going from a 60-40 to a 70-30. Watch what happens. Let's just see if we just do $100 less. $100 less. See if this changes this 12% much. Sometimes something as simple as $100 a month can change this. Watch what happens. Now it's down to a 9%. Now we're getting to a 91% success rate after 20 years and an 87% success rate after 30 years. That's not doing much changing at all. It's going $100 less and doing a 70-30 asset allocation. Let's do one more thing here. Let's go ahead and change this. Let's say he wants to wait and retire at age 65. age 65, that 2450 is going to grow. What he's getting at age 67, that's going to grow by 3 more years. And given a 2.5% COLA, which is what Social Security was, he's going to get 2638 after age 67. But again, he wants to go to age 65. So we're going to change this to 2287 right here, 2287. And he's going to get that in the fourth year because he's got 62, 63, and 64. So the 4100 is going to have to come out of his nest egg those first 3 years. Then the Social Security is going to kick in. Let's go and update that and see if that helps or hurts. Retired at age 65 instead of age 62 with all else being equal. That 70-30 split and the $100 less. 9% now went up to 12%. So again, how long does he want to wait till he takes Social Security? He gets a little bit more, but he's got this much coming out of his nest egg, which is knocking that down farther. So let's go with the $4,000 a month. See how much that changes is 12%. Staying with the 70-30 asset allocation. We're just kind of changing lots of numbers here just to show you how we can do this on this channel. Okay, going from 4,100 down to 4,000. Now we got a 92.6% success rate with all these other numbers that we changed, taking Social Security at age 65 instead of age 62. Let's do one more thing. He wants to get a little bit more from Social Security. Let's say he's going to take it at age 67. Now he's going to get this 2450 in the next 5 years will go to 2772, and he's actually going to get 100% of that. So he's going to get 2772. 2772, and that's in the sixth year now. So we're going to go ahead and update that. Let's go back to the 4100. There was a 12% failure rate taken at age 65. How about if we take it at age 67? Okay, now we're up to 14%. So it looks like the longer he waits to take Social Security, because he's taking money out of his nest egg these first 5 years here, 6 years here, he's really knocking his nest egg down, even though we got a 70-30 asset allocation. But it looks like you might be best off just go ahead and taking it right now, the amounts that we originally ran, and he's going to have the best case scenario. Another thing we want to do here, let's go back to looks like the best case scenario is go ahead and taking it now. And that was again 1715. 1715. Which means he's not knocking his nest egg immediately right down with this 4100 because he's getting Social Security. Let's go ahead and update this one more time. And forgot the success rate there. This is 4100. Another thing we can do, if he's comfortable with 4100 instead of 4200, okay, that's a 9% failure rate. 91% of the time, he's successful. Look at that, just during the Depression years and during around the year 2000. Watch what happens if we do one more thing. Right now, after negative years, we're not giving him a COLA. Right now, we're doing a 3% COLA. And after negative years, you don't give him COLA at all. Stays at whatever you had the previous year. What happens if we go with what's called negative COLAs? I just want to see how this 9% changes. Watch what happens if you have a negative year, instead of giving yourself a 3% COLA, you go back by 2%, which is actually a difference of 5%. But let's just see how much this changes. In case he's really wanting to retire now and he wants to start taking Social Security, does this 9% improve much? You want a negative, it went to 6%. Now you've got a 93.8% success rate. Again, the problem areas are during the Depression years and around the year 2000. That's what's called sequence of returns risk. When you have those initial years right here, we can see it right here, running out of money in 14 years because these are 1929 numbers, 4 down years. That's why you're running out of money, in this case, in 14 years. If we had 1930 numbers, you'd be running out of money in 15 years. If we go to the year 2000, which is the other problem area in this whole last century, 1997, no problem. This is a summary box, 1998. Getting down there after 25 years, 1999. You're running out of money in 18 years. In the year 2000, you're running out of money in 16 years. So again, if you don't have those initial down years, you might have to do some more drastic changes. You might have to cut back to maybe 4,000, 3,900. You want to get that withdrawal percentage down closer to 4%. I don't think you need. Let's just go to 3,700 just to see how it would work with, looks like if we had returns like the year 2000, you'd still be running out of money uh, a little over 20 years because you start out with these 3 down years. And we know all the other years you're going to be fine. I don't need to even update this. We just know the year 2000 was problematic. 1999, you're okay. You got 106,000 after 25 years. 2001, you got 146,000 after 20 years. Just 2000 is the only problem. So if I updated this, it would show the graph being problematic in the year 1929, 1930, and in the year 2000. Folks, that's what we do on this channel. We run all kinds of different numbers. This should show you where you might be. Can he retire with 450,000 and needing 4,200 a month? He takes Social Security initially. If it's 70-30 split, he was in really good shape. If he wasn't comfortable with a 90% success rate, if he went to, what was it, 4,000, I think it was, it really helped with that. Let's see, I'll go ahead and update this to show you. We'll go ahead and leave the negative COLA, negative 2% COLA in there. In that situation, looks like just the year 2000 we're going to have a problem, but how about all the other years? Success rate 95% of the time, just to show you how this works again. A little bit during the Depression years and around the year 2000. Otherwise, look at the kind of money you can have. That's just showing you that how you need to really watch those initial years. If they're initial down years, you could have some problem. In this case, you'd be running out of money in 18 years. You went to 3,800, then your money's less than 20 years. But again, we're starting out at 4,200, so I just wanted to run the numbers. I know I'm kind of long here, but I just want to show what we do on this channel. 450,000 is way short of that $1 million everybody thinks they need. But if you change your asset allocation, maybe cut back just a little bit here and start using negative COLAs, take your Social Security initially, looks like he's going to be in fine shape 95% of the time. Again, that's what we do on this channel. We just run numbers for people. Please consider subscribing. Please share with others. Let them know about this channel, that we run all kinds of different numbers, and we take into account all these different concepts that you really need to plan on. And then we just use 100 years worth of data, and it pretty much gives us a reasonable expectation of what's going to happen in the future. Again, please like the video, and thanks for watching.